Dan,
Yes, bud.
this film was a bit foul.
Oh, we rehearsed that for about 2 minutes.
It's so dumb.
Right, well, welcome to episode 2
Indeed.
of the DNDND podcast. My name, as always, is Dan.
And I'm 2 of your 5 a day.
Beautiful open. I hope you got another one ready for every week.
Watch me. When we get to episode 100, I'm just going to be utter nonsense.
You should be slurring your words and hoping a joke comes out of it, to be honest. Oh, where do we start today?
I mean, that joke at the beginning was top notch.
That was terrible. I literally almost cried of how bad that joke was.
What are you talking about? Well, I mean, that joke was just as good as the film, so...
You're not wrong. You're unfortunately not wrong. Today we watched Disney Plus's exclusive Artemis Fowl.
It was so exclusive. Because I see why. You wouldn't want anyone else to... You wouldn't want anyone to have that.
I hate to say it, but if I went to pay for this at the cinema, I would have felt like I was conned out of money.
Yeah, it does feel a little... It's just bad enough. Because it's not terrible. It's not like bottom of the bin, what's the worst film you've ever seen? This. It's just bad.
Bloody hell. Right, Okay, we watched Artemis Fowl. You know that as much. Spud, what were we drinking today?
Well, I was drinking some record leg ciders.
Indeed you were. And I was feasting on my £2.20 Tesco pear ciders.
Just top line, top shelf stuff.
I think it's safe to say I'm a bit more gone than you.
Yes, I'm bigger than you are.
I've had a few. You've had a few.
My cans are smaller than yours.
That's very true. I got 500 mils. Yeah, we watched Artemis Fowl. Okay, disclaimer straight up. It's been about 12 years since I've read the actual Artemis Fowl books.
I'd probably same. I probably started when I was 8, finished them when I was 12.
It's fair to say it's been about 3 years since I've even read a book, so... The fact I retained some information from it shocks me.
It's a good book.
I'll fight to the death for that book.
Yeah.
Because it was actually fantastic.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
They somehow didn't do it justice, but I can't remember what the justice was because it's been that long.
Yeah.
All I know is that the film did not do the book well enough.
No. Maybe it's just our memory of the books. Because our memory is, these books were great, but maybe they weren't. But
what do you remember about the Artemis Fowl books?
I remember they were all about basically the smartest 10-year-old in the world going to meet the fairies and saving his dad and going on all sorts of adventures. And it was just, it was some cocky little shit beating everyone with his genius mind.
Yeah, pretty much. I remember sitting at my grandma's house at the age of 7.
I don't remember the geography, to be fair. I was probably in a living room or my bedroom, but yeah.
I was going to say the same. I remember sitting on my grandma's bed because it was quiet in there and reading Artemis Fowl when I was a child. And it's just a mystical book. It's a great book for kids because it's just like fairies, orcs, magic, spies. Yeah, it was one of ticks all your boxes.
One of the 3 book series that I read as a child. This, Harry Potter, and Alex Rider.
Stormbreaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
I read
beautiful.
Those. It's an entire series.
Oh, you know what we should do with that then? We should watch the Stormbreaker series
that.
on there. Oh, we should watch the Stormbreaker film for one. Oh, Christ.
That's painful.
There is a Stormbreaker Amazon, what's it called? Amazon
Original?
Prime series.
Yeah. Is it any good?
I haven't watched it yet. I haven't actually learned anything about it. I just heard it was out.
Maybe something for the future.
I'm down to watch it.
When we run out of ideas. So, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not like many films are coming out now, aren't they? Give it about 2 weeks and we'll have to just cut back to about 2015 films to do us justice. Yeah.
But,
no, I loved Artemis Fowl as a kid. Again, can't remember it, but I got to the 4th book.
I read all of them.
Yeah.
Don't remember
8,
much. But...
I think. 6, 7 or 8?
8. 7 or 8.
Yeah. But, I mean, when I saw the trailer of this at least, I was gassed. Good. Oh, I was excited.
Really?
I mean, it looked terrible.
I thought it looked terrible.
Watching, let's compare it to Percy Jackson or something. I remember reading Percy Jackson, watching Percy Jackson, and I was still quite satisfied with it.
Yeah.
But I was probably 14 at the time.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Artemis Fowl trailer, I was like, it's going to be bad, but I'm going to love it.
Oh yeah, the idea of if it's good, it's going to be great. which is a nice mindset to have. But
That's a lovely mindset.
you're far more often disappointed. Let's be honest.
Most definitely. I reckon there's about 2 or 3 book adaptions that I can name that were even worth making into a film.
Yeah.
So let's start with our spoiler-free section. Yes, Spud, run me down the initial plot.
So, Artemis Fowl is the smartest 10-year-old in the world. He's smarter than everyone else. He doesn't go to school, or he shouldn't go to school. He's too smart, and his dad gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
And so he goes on not a worldwide quest, a house-wide quest to save his father and restore peace to the fairy world, which he discovers exists. Yeah,
that sums itself up. It's a good concept. It's a very good concept.
Yeah. They got 8 books out of it. It's clearly
exactly.
Good.
I would say, initially anyway, it stays quite close to the original material of the first book.
Yeah.
There's a few losses there. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. 40 people that listen to this podcast. Speaking of, little announcement: 46 listeners in the first day.
Seriously, I was literally about to say, "Oh, that's a bit grand." But...
Yeah, I know. 46 listeners. Thank you.
Right.
Literally, thank you, every single person that have listened. I know that we both greatly appreciate you listening to our stupid voices.
Don't you have anything better to do?
Don't you have anything better to do? I bet there's a lot of better podcasts out there.
Yeah. If they're listening to ours, I'm grateful.
But yeah, please come back for the next episode of this, and I really hope you're here for this episode as well. Either way, the 46 people listening, I've lost my train of thought. What were we on about?
You're fucking useless. Something Artemis Fowl close to the books. The beginning of it. We did the plot synopsis, and you said it's close. The beginning of it is... Yeah.
Okay, no, I remember. I said, correct me if I'm wrong, the people listening.
Yes.
Artemis didn't go to school in the books.
No, he was too smart for it.
Yeah, I thought he was always at his house.
Yeah.
Which it elaborates to in the film.
Yeah.
But the initial start of it is like, Artemis is a schoolboy.
Yeah, he goes to school and meets a counsellor who he immediately outsmarts.
Yeah, and literally the whole point of that section is just to show what, he's a child genius?
Yeah, he understands antiques, basically.
Essentially that.
He criticises a dude's chair.
It's safe to say I would have bullied Artemis Fowl if he was in my school.
100%. I would have pushed him down the stairs.
And he was a right little swat. He was such a little arsehole. Well, he was smart and he knew it, but he bloody hell did he know it.
Oh, yeah.
Also, that therapy scene. There's an initial therapy scene at the start of the film where he's talking to a school guidance counsellor.
Basically, yeah, school therapist, guidance counsellor. Because he's being a little nuisance. He's being a little shit.
And in what he talks for about 2 minutes, 3 minutes about a chair.
Yeah, he notices, that's a very nice chair, shame it's fake. And then goes into all the reasons why it's fake to show how smart he is.
I guess so. I get what he was doing. He was being a little swat again. Yeah. He was just showing he was like a very smart boy.
But I'm sure that there's a lot of people who can identify chairs.
Oh, I would assume so.
I'm sure that all the people on the Antiques Roadshow, yeah, they know antiques, but that doesn't mean they're smart. Just showing, it's something movies always do. Showing like, he's really smart in this one thing. He's a big nitpicker. That doesn't mean you're smart. Just means you're pedantic.
Yeah, it means you're smart in your own subject, essentially. Yeah. Either way, given he's smart or not, I can't remember what else they gave him. He designed a building, an Irish building, at the age of 9 or something stupid.
He designed a building and cloned a goat.
Yeah, cloned a Bruce. Bruce the goat. Yes, you're right.
And then he goes surfing at some point.
That was stupid.
In the Irish coast.
Yeah, which also looked like Byron Bay. It looked fucking beautiful.
That's not... No. If you go surfing on the Irish coast, you're probably going to drown.
I was going to say, you're going to freeze.
You're going to freeze and drown
to death.
Immediately.
It looked like some Mediterranean Sea. It definitely wasn't recorded in Ireland.
No. But that was a bit... I guess smart people go surfing?
I guess so. It just showed he's a cool dude.
I suppose. He also skates home at some point.
Yeah, that's true, on that weird hoverboard.
Yeah.
But he has a therapy session with his counsellor, and it's in a glass room. And there's literally a shot where 8 people are watching.
Yeah, just sitting outside watching him.
And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong again, but does that not defeat the entire purpose of a therapy session?
That's the opposite of a therapy session.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
Everyone's watching what you're saying and watching what you're doing.
Patient confidentiality. Patient confidentiality. It's
Mr.
only
Confidentiality.
Yeah. Patient confidentiality. It's only us and those 5 people out there watching you. You mad bastard.
Also, that guy never showed again.
No, he was
literally
just
appeared for 2 minutes, disappeared. In my opinion, maybe you think differently. The start of this film, and by start I mean about 20, 30 minutes, not 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Good 20 minutes.
Was absolute dog shit.
Yeah. Filmmaking was just average, but the acting was pretty bad because it focused on a child actor most of the time, which is never a good idea. It was literally just, oh, this is your mother, this is your father, who they got that backwards. In the books,
yeah, that's not the book.
His father's been gone for like 5 years, and it's his mother who stays at home and is a bit mad. In this, his mother's barely mentioned, other than she dies at some point, and his dad's actually there for most of it. He just disappears.
Yeah, essentially so. Is this spoilers? Are we spoiling it? No, I think
not
that's
really.
fair.
It's the inciting incident.
I mean, okay, you can see from the film that his dad's only in there, or just an old man's in there. Right, let's keep to spoilers. Let's be nice podcast hosts.
Yeah.
Other than that point, what is there to say about the film? The aesthetic, in my opinion, quite nice, quite lovely.
Yeah, especially what they did with the fairy world.
Yeah,
like all the different...
general cinematography is actually quite good.
Yeah,
there are a few weird shots where they do like some pull and push focuses that look a bit off.
Yeah,
and like a few camera tilts that are just clearly there to be like, oh look, a reveal.
Ooh, yeah.
They're a bit.
I don't know if it was just the way we were watching it, or if it's on purpose. But there were some that just stuttered a lot.
Yes,
a lot of stuttering frames, which
it looked like they were attempting slow mo without being able to actually utilize it.
Which
speaking from a filmmaker's perspective, it looked gross. It just looked bad.
Yeah, no. Speaking from a non-filmmaking perspective, it just looked bad.
It just looked bad.
You can't defend it.
Other than the aesthetic, though, what would you say about the cast?
There were two big name actors.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell and Judi Dench.
Yeah.
Other than that, everyone was either they'd been playing entirely bit parts most of their lives.
Yeah. Or
it's for the main character, it was his first film he'd ever made.
Yeah, we looked this up like just before we started recording, and Spud found out something particularly weird that genuinely shocked me.
Yeah, the main character, Farida Shaw, is, according to IMDb, which may be wrong, is the grandson of Jon Favreau.
Jon Favreau?
The guy who directed Iron Man 1, 2, 3 and some of the Avengers films.
And Chef.
I
don't know if he directed Chef. He was Chef in Chef.
Yeah. But basically,
Mandalorian. He directs Mandalorian.
He directs Mandalorian. He's a very good director.
He's fucking fantastic. I loved him.
Which makes me worry that the only reason this kid got the part was, this is my grandson. Give him a job. All right, we've got this Artemis Fowl film coming out. You're about the age.
Artemis nepotism.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it is all about, I'm the son of this big guy. Give me all your shit. So
I would say,
makes sense.
As much as I love Artemis Fowl, I would subtitle this Artemis Fowl Daddy Issues.
Pretty much.
Jesus Christ, that's the entire plot of the film.
That's the reason that he and Holly actually bond. Through, my dad's disappeared, my dad's dead.
Yeah, no. I thought the cast was okay.
Cast played their parts.
Yeah, I mean...
A couple of directing, it would be directing that I'd argue is the way they handled Butler was a bit terrible.
Yeah, I agree. There's weird script issues as well.
His little sister.
There were some lines that were performed so blatantly.
Yeah, and just some of the things, just from my memory of the character, didn't seem like something he'd do. My memory of the character is this big, hulking giant of a man who stands in the corner of the room and, terrifies you. Yeah. He doesn't need to speak. He doesn't need to make a point. He just stands and is intimidating. But this guy, he runs a lot in the beginning. He's often dashing about going...
Yeah, no, I won't disagree with you. He's dashing up and down stairs.
Which is a bit weird.
Like sitting in a ghillie suit and running around.
While wearing his regular suit?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I really liked that. That was stupid. Oh. But, I mean, other than that... I don't know who the actor is for that part. You can look him up quickly. Probably, again... I won't say an unnamed actor. I'm just not aware of him.
He's right. Nonso Anozie.
Okay.
Probably pronouncing that wrong.
Probably.
But from looking at his filmography, it's just if you need a big, tough black dude, he's the guy you call.
So he's a bit typecast.
Yeah, Cinderella, Conan the Barbarian, The Last Legion. What the fuck? Happy Go Lucky.
Happy Go 2008. The film with the female main character.
I look at a few chapters in the life of Poppy, a cheery, colourful North London schoolteacher.
That is a fantastic film.
Is it?
Weirdly fantastic. There's a scene where she goes through a park at night, and it's one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen in a film, just because it's weirdly realistic.
He played Ezra.
To digress about Happy-Go-Lucky, would recommend you giving it a watch.
I'll take a look.
He was good. He was decent. He was a decent butler.
Yeah.
Not the butler I know.
Yeah.
At least. But we'll get on to how the film throws away the book entirely in a bit.
The rest of it.
Other than that, though,
his little sister Juliet was just sort of there for a couple of scenes.
I'm almost certain that her voice was dubbed. Because that first scene
definitely
that she's
for some scenes, she just doesn't. You don't see her mouth.
You don't see her bloody mouth. It just looks like there's just a voice over her head.
Yeah.
Holly Shaw, she looks about 8 years old.
Young. I don't like it.
It creeped me out a bit.
Weird.
Well, very good though. Awesome character.
Pretty good.
Mulch Diggums.
Josh Gad.
The best part of this entire film. Josh Gad.
Absolute G. Funniest moments. Just the best.
Just brilliant.
Oh. We'll get on some of them later. But...
God, yes, we will. That'll be in the spoiler section, but we will talk about Mulch. Other than that, no, cast was good, and there's nothing to complain about. I reckon this will probably make or break a lot of careers.
Yeah.
Depending on whether... I mean, Disney's now got them under their belt, so they can hire them again. But, I mean, if other companies think their role was decent, there's a lot of potential. And general story, in my opinion... Right. Yeah.
It was perfectly okay.
There was nothing bad about it. It wasn't too confusing. It was...
Yeah, if your entire basis is it like the book, the answer is no.
Yeah.
If you just want a film version of the first book, then that's not what you're getting.
Which isn't
You're getting like the first 3 or 4 books just sort of thrown into one.
Yeah, I would argue that if you just wanted a book adaptation, like a film adaptation of the book, just read the book.
It's book 1 with a little bit of book 2 thrown in. And I want to say it's book 4.
And a bit of book 4, yeah.
Yeah.
Which we'll get onto.
Is there anything else to really talk about non-spoilery?
I don't really think so. I reckon we can move on quite quickly.
So filmography we've done, actors.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I will say, if on the off chance that you've somehow stumbled upon this podcast and you don't know us, or even if you do know us and you're looking to watch this film, I wouldn't say don't watch it.
Don't watch it in cinemas.
Don't watch it in the cinemas. Well, I mean, if it comes out in the cinemas, which I don't think it is at this point,
no,
I definitely wouldn't pay for it. If you don't have a Disney Plus membership, don't buy it to watch this film.
This isn't the film you want to go for.
But if any part of you is interested in watching the film, I would implore you to actually watch it.
Yeah, if you have Disney Plus, go for it.
It's a weird trip. It's an interesting journey. And it's better than... Well, actually, I'll take that one back. Scoob is a better film.
Is it? I don't know.
Because it's a children's film.
So this is 12 plus, it said.
I would say Scoob is a lot more kind of like younger children, in my opinion.
Scoob can get away with a lot of what it does.
I think it can, especially because
it's designed for 5-year-olds.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I mean, I won't lie. If I saw Artemis Fowl in the cinema when I was 12, I'd probably love it. Again, to the point we said last week, you could show me a cow fucking in a film and I would also enjoy that. It doesn't
matter. But the thing about this is, with Scoob, it's still like, you know, the last one was a few years ago, but that's still fresh enough to where some, 10, 11, 12-year-old would go, oh man, I remember catching this, or I remember my parents have showed me this, I loved it.
Yeah.
But Artemis Fowl was a book series from 10 years ago? It's fairly old
I would
now.
argue probably more than that, to be honest. The
fairly
original
old.
came out a while ago.
Yeah.
Owen Colfer, what a guy.
Oh. So the only people who would be watching this are people like us. Yeah. People who read the books when they were in their early teens.
Yeah.
So...
I think the likelihood of, for example, someone over the age of like 25, 30 stumbling onto Disney Plus and being like, oh, Artemis Fowl is new to Disney Plus, I'll watch that. Incredibly unlikely.
Yeah.
And if you've bought Disney Plus to show your kids, or you've asked for it as a kid, I don't think you'll be jumping onto this, because it's just, maybe it's my cynical brain talking, but it has to be a lot more flashy and a lot more interesting for me to give a shit.
Yeah, it's a bit too serious in certain places to be open for kids.
I think so.
It's a bit too goofy and badly made for adults.
Also, I don't think you'll appreciate things like, oh, Judi Dench plays Root in this. Like, you won't know who that is. You'll get like all fairies, all mystical.
Yeah.
But it's a lot less mystical than the books are.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for mystical, there is a lot out there on Disney Plus that is better than this to watch.
Hell yeah.
Like,
Space,
I would
Star
argue...
Wars, Space Wizards.
Exactly. I'd put my fists up in an aggressive stance and say Sorcerer's Apprentice is probably better than this. The Nick Cage film.
Oh, I thought you meant the old Mickey Mouse cartoon where he makes brooms.
Oh, that's a banger. Oh, I love that. No, that's Fantasia, isn't it?
That's what it is.
Yeah. That's good. Now, Sorcerer's Apprentice is that Nick Cage film from like 2010. Where he's got grey hair. But I would say this it's a better example of magic than this one is.
Oh, yeah. If you're looking for magic, it's everywhere.
It's a nostalgia factor. Yeah. And if you're thinking of watching it, definitely do watch it. If at this point you're not interested at all, watch something better.
Yeah, there's a lot better out there.
But other than that, we better move on to spoilers.
Nothing else to talk about.
I'm just going to run it down in order of the notes I've got, because I feel that's the best way we can do spoilers.
Yeah, it'll work.
Yeah, we'll just elaborate on the characters and the general terrible plot. This is a Kenneth Branagh film.
It is.
That was weird to me.
I don't know much of what he's done, I'll be honest.
All I can remember is Thor, off the top of my head.
Thor?
He did Thor 1.
Oh.
It's very insulting to Kenneth Branagh, because if he found out that we only knew about Thor and Artemis Fowl, he'd probably beat us to death.
Probably. Yeah, but if those are the only ones we know of, what else can he have done that's, like, super big?
I'm certain he was, like... Well, he's a Northern Irish director, so I know he's done, like, a lot of, like...
Death on the Nile,
Cinderella, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah. He's done a lot more.
Yeah.
He would be very upset to
He's
know
been
that
going
we just
for a
know
while.
Artemis Fowl.
Like, early 90s.
I, to be honest, it's very... the epitome of a Kenneth Branagh film, I would say.
Perfectly
Judging
mediocre.
by, like, Thor and Harry Potter 2.
Yeah, perfectly mediocre. There's nothing particularly offensive. He's a competent director.
It's very much the MacGuffin film. It's like a heist film, but not really.
Well, we're in spoiler section, so yeah, it is a MacGuffin film. Replace it with...
Tell me what the MacGuffin is.
It's a big old acorn.
Yeah, but what's it called, Spud?
Oh, fuck! It's some weird Irish word. The halucha. The
Halucha's a Pokemon.
I know. The luaful.
I'm almost certain it starts with A.
The
Aculus.
The Aculus.
Yeah, that's how important it was in this film.
Fuck. It literally could have been the Maltese Falcon.
It might,
and it would not have mattered.
It was literally just... It was a golden acorn that had a lot of layers to it, and it did what you wanted it to do when you needed it to do it. That was about it.
Genuinely expecting one of the Order of Assassins to just turn up and go, the Acorn of Eden! Brilliant.
Ezio runs in. Steals it from your hand. Haven City's introduction, quite early in the film, but that's when we find out there are fairies in the world. Yeah.
It was... Visually, it was pretty damn nice.
Oh, it was beautiful. I've literally written down, it's like... Haven City is beautiful. Seamus full of furries.
Oh yeah, because obviously everyone's Irish because it's set in Ireland, and so where we would say fairies, they say, "Oh, watch out! There's a couple of fairies over there," which sounds like furries.
Which didn't help when they immediately showed a load of
goblins and
dwarves dressed in costumes. It was like, sounds about right. To be honest,
they're about to yiff if you're not careful.
That was cool though. They introduced like the different species of things.
Introduced the best character, Mulch Diggums.
Mr. Diggums, a giant dwarf.
He literally starts off stealing something, which is
that's pretty legit. It's essentially an iPod that he steals.
No, he steals someone's like a letter or like a key or something.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, give it back. She walks off and just like, oh, thanks for this, by the way.
It's genius.
Which is brilliant.
He's great. Josh Gad's character is the best. I'm pretty sure he starts off the film by being interviewed by police. Yeah,
he's being interviewed by MI6.
Yeah.
Because Artemis sent him there?
You find out it's a big setup at the end of the film.
Which I don't understand.
I don't get that.
The whole point of the entire story is you give me what I want or else I'll reveal fairies to the world. But at the end he just reveals fairies to the world?
It seems
or
a
at
bit
least to the MI6.
Like, there is a lot of this film where it's like not even empty threats, but they make kind of bold accusations and weird statements that they just go back on straight away.
Yeah.
Like, we'll get to him in a minute, but the main enemy's little sidekick.
Oh, that guy
is useless. But
what's his name?
Yeah, exactly. We'll get on to him in a second. Jesus
he's
Christ.
Just there.
But Mulch Diggums is obviously introduced. You got the dwarves, you got the orcs, You got
the
fairies
goblins,
that work
fairies.
at Lep Recon. Do you get it?
It's something. It's Land Explorers. It's LEP stands for something, but because this is the reconnaissance area, that's what it was in the book. It was already a dumb
I know,
joke.
I liked it. It came up
It's
on
so dumb, but
I
it's
did
good.
groan, but I was like, yeah, fair enough.
Because they're in Ireland.
But I will say, out of all that essential scene and that, it's all nice. Holly Short looks far too young and far too, dare I say, fairy-ish to be a fairy. Like what I pictured her as in the book, at least, was not that, and what the drawings and the graphic novel and stuff.
Well, because in the graphic novel, she's got pink skin.
Yeah, she does.
To make her very clearly a fairy.
So do all the fairies.
Which I get why they didn't do it.
Oh, definitely.
Because you'd have to paint every actor's skin pink.
And that's just a
pain in the arse.
Or even if you CGI it, that's another $100,000 to the
Exactly. But they could have done something. They could have done something about it. At least reference it.
She honestly just looked like a 15-year-old girl in a green suit.
Yeah.
Costumes were cool though, I will say.
The Lep's costumes were brilliant.
I was quite a fan.
Like the green, it looked mostly combat, like basically what you'd imagine fantasy police to wear.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which was just brilliant.
I quite liked it. The helmets were really cool as well.
Yeah.
The weird curve on them. I liked that.
Oh.
Commander Root.
Judi Dench playing a 100-year-old smoker.
Yeah, pretty much. 804 or something.
800 and something. She's
very
fucking old.
She reveals her her birthday's coming up soon, and she's 804 or whatever.
Yeah, it feels like they told Judi Dench to do an Irish accent, and she said, "I can't do an Irish accent." Well, okay, what can you do? Well, I can do this, and that's brilliant.
It was awful.
It was a little awful.
Also, if we're going by, I'll just bring this up every bloody 5 minutes or so. If we're going by the book,
yeah,
Julius Root is a man.
He is.
And not that I have an issue with them changing characters' gender or ethnicity or whatever.
Let's be honest,
it doesn't bother me.
Not the first time Judi Dench has played a woman who has previously been a man.
Oh yeah, no,
she was
true.
M, and she was brilliant in that.
She was awesome in M. Awesome in M. Awesome as M in James Bond.
Yeah.
But I would say you miss a lot by not having someone. I wouldn't even say it's just her portrayal of Root wasn't that great.
She doesn't have the grandiose the only reason she commands the room as she does is just because, oh my god, it's Judi Dench.
Yeah, to be fair.
If it was anyone else, you'd have to have that sense of authority of, I've been here for 800 years, I'm your boss.
Yes.
But she seems to act like when Holly comes up to her asking her to do something, she's just like, oh, okay. Do this. Go on. Goodbye.
Yeah,
whatever.
she just kind of deals with it.
She doesn't care.
On. And I mean, for context as well, Julius Root in the book is a big-necked, smoking bastard of a commander.
His entire point is he's the hardest on Holly because she's the first female LEP officer.
Yes.
But the fact that Judi Dench exists kind of ruins that.
It defeats its own purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah. So now there's no reason why she prefers Holly. She just sort of does.
You know who would have been good? I mean, maybe you'll disagree. Maybe everyone will disagree. But at least in my opinion, I think it would have been a bit of a weapon. J.K. Simmons.
I can't see him the same after his J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah, to be
fair. But I feel like, if you...
I just think... We're going by thick-neck arsehole commander. Like, I reckon J.K. Simmons there being like, Holly, get the fuck out of here. Blah, 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 blah.
If he spoke get him to speak a little bit slower and he'd be perfect. Like that, his sense of I want this, I want photos of Artemis Fowl and I want them yesterday. You're fired. No, you're back working for me. That level of just anger. It would work really well.
He would have been a lot better. Oh. Moving on from that though, talk about our main characters. Artemis is a bitch.
He is.
He's cool in about one scene.
Yeah, there's 1.5 scenes where he's actually cool, and the rest of it, he's just... He bounces between, oh, I'm better than you, but couldn't back it up, and he's got daddy issues up the wazoo.
Yeah, that's essentially it.
Yeah.
He's just very annoyed that Colin Farrell has to be an archaeologist, and it turns out he's not an archaeologist.
Antique stealer.
Essentially that. He's an antique seller at the start, isn't he?
Which explains why he has such a nice house, obviously.
Yeah, that's obviously what the cause of it is. That's why he also knows about fairies and goblins.
Yeah.
that whole subplot was almost lost on me.
Yeah.
It was like, if Artemis is the smartest kid in the world and his dad's telling him about fairy tales and they live in $1 billion mansion.
Yeah, shouldn't he be able to put it together that he's not an antique
he's a smart
dealer?
enough kid to know what's going on. Either way, the entire plot was based on the fact that Artemis just wanted his dad back.
Yeah.
He didn't care about literally anything else.
Which isn't, going back to the book, the reason he meets the fairies is to get rich.
Yeah, he's an
arsehole. The reason he kidnaps Holly, the reason he does all that is just to get, like, I want money, basically. Give me all you've got. Which is turned into a joke when he goes into negotiations with Root and he says, I want the MacGuffin. Oh, really? Yes. And one of those pots of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Yeah. I liked that. It was quite funny.
It was the only good scene. It was the only good young Artemis scene because he was being himself. He was being this cocky little shit who just was smarter than everyone.
Yeah, that's true.
It was, what's to stop us from bombing this place? Well, we're gonna release your secrets. Oh, you're in a time stop. You can't do that. But I can in a few minutes.
Yeah, it's literally like for 20 minutes.
Okay.
That was the one scene that he was good at, but he was a bit of a letdown in terms of that. Also, not that he could ever fight in the books or anything, but he really did show his weaknesses in this.
Yeah.
As well as Artemis, though.
Butler. I kind of like him. I feel like it works because I don't think his race is ever stated.
Not to my knowledge.
I assume it is.
To be fair, that honestly doesn't bother me. I mean, there's like, at least at this point, tens and hundreds of examples of characters switching races or ethnicities in films.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, most of the time, it's not really an issue. It's just whether or not the actor themselves can play the character well.
Exactly. And I think Butler's design
is fantastic.
Of this giant man with white hair in just a three-piece suit looks brilliant.
I don't like the contacts, weirdly.
I kind of do.
There's something unnerving about them. It takes out his human side.
But I think
that's
that
important.
works. Because imagine you do meet this, giant bodyguard man, and he's got piercing blue eyes that just stare into you.
I mean,
it works for intimidation. He is scary.
Equally, he looks like a 14-year-old dog that's lost their eyesight.
Yeah, he does get a bit of milk.
He's just a bit misty, like he could run into a wall at any minute. And speaking of Butler again, at the end of the film, we are in the spoiler section, so I don't care. He as a team, they rescue
they go and rescue
Artemis Fowl Senior.
Yes.
Yeah, Colin Farrell's character.
Yeah. I thought you were going to at the very end.
Yeah, the very end.
I thought you meant when they rescue Mulch, where he's useless.
Oh, bloody hell! No,
but no, the scene where
the scene where they rescue Colin Farrell,
who for some reason they summon him upstairs in just like a drawing room.
Yeah,
and then he appears in his secret basement. I guess
pretty much. He's just randomly there rather than the place to summon. But Butler gives him a hug,
which he shouldn't.
It's very anti-Butler.
But
sorry, my apologies. Anti-Dom.
They call him Dom. I hate that.
He doesn't like being called the Butler, Spud.
His name was Butler. For like 6 books, you didn't know his name.
I hated that.
Oh.
I was not a fan of that.
They had the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
Because he dies.
He dies. Like, he literally dies.
Like, it's not even he gets healed from near death. He just dies.
He does die later in the film. Straight up gets.
He rescues.
Crushed. He rescues Artemis and sacrifices himself.
Yeah.
And that kills him. Holly obviously revives him because she's a bloody fairy. But that was the best point to be like, my name's Dom.
This is my name.
Whatever his extended name was. It's not Dominic. It's something weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not important. But that's the best point to do it. But he's called Butler. His name is Butler. I don't know why I've got such an issue with that. It's so dumb.
It's because it works with his character. You see this giant man, and then this child walks past and goes, Butler, let's go.
It's cool.
But when he walks past and goes, oh, Dom, how you doing?
Dominic,
that's one of my friends. Yeah, we Dom.
So stupid. I've also got a note here that there's a point where Butler fires a shot at Holly to try and subdue her while she is standing still.
She's standing still, and he misses.
Completely misses, and when she's like, bloody hell, I better move then, flies away, clips her out of midair.
Absolute crack shot.
It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. Give you can throw that down to whatever his gold gym training or whatever they said. At the
Yeah,
start
for some
of the
reason
film.
they mentioned that he's got 10 years as mixed martial arts, 7 years in weapons training, and 5 years at the Gold's gym.
He might as well just be John Cena.
He is.
But like, you wouldn't miss that first shot. I'll give you that second shot. You definitely wouldn't have missed that first one.
If there was some sort of fairy force field or something gave him away.
Yeah.
If some fox snapped a twig, anything, he just misses.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh.
There are a lot of like scenes in this where they make very stupid little mistakes, and it's such a nitpicky CinemaSins thing to do, but it just gets on my nerves when they just mess it up like that slightly.
Yeah, because one or two of them, whatever, you're making an hour and a half, 2 hour film?
No, 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, you can forgive a mistake.
Yeah.
But like that many of them, it just starts to get on your nerves.
Oh, it's not even 2 hours, it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I will say another one of those which is really dumb. After Holly gets shot, she gets captured by Artemis Butler. She's kept in a chicken coop.
Literally, there's holes, there's chicken wire. And for some reason they have a little feeding hatch.
Yeah, they've got a hatch.
Which makes sense to like if you want to put food through it.
Yes.
Obviously. But then they have this talk where they walk around the cage looking at each other and they end up back at the feeding hatch. They're both staring at each other through it, and Artemis just does his cool guy, slams the door and walks away. Not realising that she's in a see-through cage.
Yeah, this was the point where I literally turned to Spud while we were watching it and I was like, but she's in a chicken coop.
Yeah.
And we just burst out laughing. So
because
we were
it
like,
literally
the hatch means nothing.
We've captured this fairy. We don't know what she can do. What should we do with her, Artemis? Well, there's an old chicken coop out back. That'll work.
Also, I will say, I don't know if you noticed this, when Mulch gets arrested at the start, he gets arrested at the start of the film.
Yeah.
When you see him in like prison later, it is also a big chicken coop. It's like they had one box for the entire film, and we're like, let's just go for it.
It's got a glass skylight for some reason.
It's so strange.
Oh.
I think that's most of the notes I've got down covered. Do you want to talk about the fight scenes?
Yeah, alright. I reckon I'm a connoisseur of sorts. And these were doggers.
Yeah, they were good.
They were basically 2.
I would argue 3, maybe. I would go, there's Troll 1, when we're in Italy for 3. No reason.
You're in Italy and there's a big troll crashing a wedding.
Yeah, there's the big army scene where the fairies come in.
Where there's only like 5 of them.
Yeah, there's like a row of 6 or something.
Which is a bit...
And then there's Troll the sequel. Trolls 2 World Tour, in fact. We'll get to that one.
Oh, one day.
Oh, let's start with the first one though. The one in Italy.
A big troll kidnaps a little girl.
Yeah.
He wants to do a little King Kong thing. You know, nice little reference.
It's okay.
But then Holly Short, the 3 foot tall...
She's tiny.
LEP officer, just drop kicks him in the head.
Yeah, does nothing. Barely even blinks.
He throws the little girl in the air, and she catches her and brings her to the ground. And then he starts picking up other people, throwing them around.
And killing them.
Yeah.
They must be dead.
Presumably, when a troll throws you through a table, you die.
Yeah.
But she just goes, no. This little girl is hurt. She was thrown in the air. And just sort of sits there for a minute until her fairy friend Foley underground...
Oh, Foley.
Foley.
We haven't even talked about Foley yet. Let's go back to him.
Foley the centaur. But he issues a time stop.
Yeah.
Just in this Italian wedding, and then she basically pulls a Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Of
X-Men, X-Men First Class?
Yeah.
No, wrong one. X-Men, I'm going back in time and Peter Dinklage is here, the film.
Yeah.
That one.
Who cares? It's fucking another X-Men film.
Yeah, fair point.
But yeah, so time has stopped and she just sort of hangs about saving people, some of them.
And she gets a commendation.
Yeah, she gives an ice cream to a little girl. No, she doesn't. That happens at the end.
No, not that bit. Root's like, well done, Holly, like, blah, blah, blah. You've done a fantastic
when they're
job,
leaving.
blah, blah, blah. She doesn't do anything.
No,
she just hits the troll,
Yeah.
lets the troll kill some people, and
then
then
fixes
Foley
everything.
does the time stop.
Yeah.
Holly does nothing other than waste her time talking to a child.
Which, to be fair, sets up the rest of the film.
Yeah, fair point. She is like mostly compassionate rather than doing her job.
Yeah.
But my issue that I had with that was that when they do the time stop thing, yeah, could have been cool, could have been interesting. They don't do anything. They stop every single person.
No, time just stops and they
Erase their memory?
They erase everyone's memory and that's it. They
Yeah.
don't fix the location. They just carry the troll off to Fairyland.
They don't do anything with the troll. They like subdue it and just take it.
Yeah, and then when time finally resumes, some couple just sort of walks over and grabs some drinks and goes, "This is a weird wedding."
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I don't know about you if I just lost my memory and it looks like a fucking tornado's rocked through. My first thought isn't, "Oh, this is a bit odd." Grab some bevs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's what the fuck just happened.
Especially
Are you
because
right?
seconds later a man falls off the roof and
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, this is normal, isn't it?"
Oh,
That was stupid. That was a bad fight scene. It was bad scene.
very bad.
I will say, for 2 minutes, let's have a quick
wouldn't-
chat about Foley.
Yeah, all right.
Foley is
One of the
fantastic.
best second best character other than Diggums.
100%.
He is just
He's a
centaur.
centaur. Yeah.
And he's
Head of operations at the LEP, basically.
yeah, he's head techie. He's just he's Q from James Bond.
He's essentially the comic relief as well as Mulch.
Basically,
He's
yeah.
very good and he's very funny. And every 12 seconds he kicks himself in the back of the...
Yeah.
Like, basically just trots himself away.
Because I think almost all of his humour, very little of it comes from him, or the actor.
Yeah.
It's entirely him being a centaur.
Yes.
Just all the little things they added. Like he wants to leave quickly, so he does a little trot in the air and...
It's fantastic. And it's all like background stuff. It's right at the back
little
of the
things
frame.
you didn't have to do.
I really like it. He's
great.
also like he's just genuinely a good character. He's the
Yeah.
one that actually sets up most things to work.
Pretty much, yeah. He's their support.
Also looks nothing at all like the book interpretation.
Don't
but
think so, but doesn't.
honestly doesn't matter. Really doesn't play into it at all.
I'll be honest. He's one of the ones that I prefer it.
Yeah, I think I quite
I think
prefer
it
this
works.
version. He's better than what was he like purple in the book, like blue or
Yeah.
purple.
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
It was a bit weird. Fight scene 2.
Fight scene 2.
So this is the army invasion essentially.
Basically, yeah. So 6 or whatever fairies in all their top secret.
I mean,
gear.
there's like 100 there. But
There's
they only
100
use
hanging
6.
about, and yeah, and then so Artemis and Butler stand on their porch.
So they're there. The army are there to save Holly, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know what because they can't enter the house.
No,
and the only reason they attack is because
unless they're
Artemis and
invited
Butler,
because they're vampires
basically,
for some
yeah.
reason.
Fairy rules, I guess.
Yeah, whatever.
And then so Artemis and Butler just stand on the porch, and then they suddenly decide to fight.
Which is objectively one of the worst fight scenes I've ever seen in any
It
film.
is. You cannot tell what's going on.
It's like they were just. It's like I'm 13 years old again, and I've been like, let's do a fight scene, Spud.
Yeah.
You know what we should do? I don't know. This list of things without any like joy.
Oh, let's put on some suits and pretend this stick is a laser gun and spin around and there's a fairy there, bam bam. It was just a little bit. It seemed fake,
It was awful.
which it is, but it just seemed compared to every other fight scene.
Yeah.
It just seems bad.
One of the biggest disappointments of this entire film.
Yeah.
Because it's not like the scenes even went together. The cuts were so jarring. And it was just like, there's a fairy, Butler gives it a bloody body slap.
Just gives it a punch.
And then it just disappears.
He
And then
picks up
Artemis
a bow
now
and
has
arrow
a gun.
at some point.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
Which I guess is fairy weaponry. It's a cool idea. You've got these, it's the proof of, a man and his butler, the genius and the big guy.
Yeah.
How well they work compared to this giant army. What have we got? Well, we've got this one weapon and everything they're holding.
Yeah.
It could have worked.
I think it definitely could have. If it was, for one, filmed better, and two...
thought out better.
Yeah, it's like the weapons needed to be explained. I guess... I think it was meant to be like fairy tech, so it was like it can change into whatever it wants to change to.
I guess.
That was honestly elaborated for about 12 seconds.
Yeah.
And that was like 5 minutes earlier. They were like, Artemis was like, oh, a sword. And that was about it. And so it was so confusing. Which is crazy, because once you leave that scene and you get into like, okay, Artemis and Butler escape, obviously, because they've got this cool fairy tech.
They just sort of walk back inside, I think.
Essentially. That's all they do. Artemis says, Holly, would you like to get out of the cage? Because we can win with the power of friendship.
Yeah, do you want to be my friend? Can I trust you? And for some reason she goes along with it.
She decks him. Yeah, she punches him in the face.
And he just lays there and goes, fair enough.
It's so Stupid. It's the worst fight scene of most films I've ever seen.
In between these fight scenes, can we just mention...
Yes, we can, because I know what you're going to say.
Is it Dame Judi Dench's introduction before that fight scene?
You are correct.
It's the best one-liner you've ever heard. So imagine this giant fleet has appeared on the grounds of the mansion. Dame Judi Dench steps up to the plate, ready to say her one-liner, and she just goes,
"Top of the morning."
It's so bad.
It's like a disaster movie joke.
Because she's not saying it to anyone.
No, she just says it to the air.
She just appears and goes, "Top of the morning" to you.
Probably most of those fairies would have had earpieces. I would have not seen what's going on and been like,
just,
what?
Okay. Are you
it's
all
fucking
right?
stupid. Also, simultaneously, Mulch Diggums unhinges his giant jaw.
Oh, that's brilliant.
In the best CGI point of this film that I've seen yet.
He's top notch.
And munches his way through dirt.
It's so good.
He's the best character.
He just is.
Mulch Diggums is my icon.
Actually, leading into that and our third and final fight scene,
yes,
is possibly one of the funniest, like, non-verbal jokes. Probably the funniest joke in this film.
Oh, is that the pickpocket?
Yeah. The four of them are standing in a line, ready to fight a giant troll.
This is the troll from earlier.
The troll from earlier, which they've just...
Okay, oh god, we haven't even mentioned Opal.
Oh, yeah, they brought in Opal for...
Yeah.
What does she do?
Oh, okay, this is what I mean. This is why...
She kidnaps his dad.
Yeah. This is why the film's confusing.
And she has nothing to do with anything.
He's trying to save his dad. There's this weird masked villain that's kidnapped his dad and wants the acorn. I'm going to call it the acorn because I don't care what it's called.
It doesn't matter.
It's revealed to be Opal from the 4th Artemis book.
Yeah.
But she is not elaborated in. She is literally a black hood with a green laser.
She has a green laser.
She also doesn't reveal that she's got any powers or anything. She's just a
thing. At the end, she shoots some tar. Some tar, basically, yeah. She's got the power over molasses.
This is how confusing this film is. I mean, the structure of this film is as bad as the structure of our own podcast, to be honest with you.
I think the film's worse. We're just saying something.
That is definitely saying something. I would argue maybe we're worse, but that's just...
Oh, definitely.
I'll give Disney some credit.
Yeah.
She hires a guy that's on trial. I don't really know. He's like...
I don't know what he does.
I don't know his name.
Was
I don't
that
really
the
know what
same
he's done.
guy?
Yes, that was the weird captain dude.
Oh, Captain.
So this is
Captain.
Piss Boy. I'm going to call him Piss Boy because that's basically his entire role.
Yeah.
His entire role is to be Opal's like servant, and he works for the fairies. But he's like, oh, I'm part of the FBI of fairies.
Well,
I'm going to investigate you. Yeah.
I'm the eyes and ears. I see everything, and then he leaves the room.
So he does nothing in the film. He's just there to be a little.
He does nothing until just before this. Is it just before or after that fight scene?
No, it's just before the fight scene.
Just before the fight scene.
He's the one that brings in the troll again. He brings in the troll and uses it as a battering ram to get into Artemis's house.
And he takes control over the LEP.
He does, and he incarcerates Judi Dench.
Yeah, who at some point just sort of explodes with energy, taking out 6 dudes, and next scene she's in handcuffs.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it twice, could you? No. But no, following that, when they use the troll, so Piss Boy's there, he's brought in the troll, which is a terrible enemy. You can clearly defeat the troll as well, so they're just using the same troll. Done it. Throw it into the building, it breaks through like 6 walls and accidentally like knocks free the acorn. Yeah. And then we get our third fight scene, which somehow is the best one.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't have a lot to contend with, let's be honest.
It does not.
But it's the best one, but can you tell me anything that happens in it?
Not entirely. It's basically...
It's a game of catch.
Yes.
Holly gets caught in a chandelier.
Ball.
Yeah. Mulch gets the ball and eats it.
Yeah.
Keep it safe. Fair enough. And then Butler just sort of runs around the place trying to save it. And then his little sister Juliet tags in and runs around trying to get away from it.
Who is at this point essentially forgotten in the film.
Pretty much. He does not do anything.
Yeah.
And then Artemis picks up a gun, shoots it a couple of times, gets thrown through a window into his foyer, and shoots it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And then Holly gets free and punches it. And then Artemis shoots it a couple of times.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Butler gets crushed.
Yeah, Butler dies because he moves Artemis out of the way, so the chandelier doesn't fall on him.
Yeah.
I think there's like a bit that's not... I think it is explained, but it goes a bit amiss. That Holly can't use her powers because They've locked
her magic away.
Which, again, something we completely forgot.
We
because
missed.
It is a throwaway. Her dad stole the acorn years ago.
Yeah, and he was branded a traitor and just so happened to give it to Artemis Fowl Senior.
Yeah. And then it's
Just
revealed
by
right at the end of the film that he's not actually a traitor.
No, he was a good guy.
No
For some
explanation.
reason.
Just it going off the word of a white man.
He was a
Makes
good
no
guy.
sense.
How do you know? Well, he gave me this super powerful thing. That doesn't make him good.
And a triangle piece of paper, don't forget.
That's right. Which, I think I made one of those when I was in year 6.
Oh, it's
Tell
like,
fortunes,
yeah, no, it's
pretty cool.
Well, you know how many children you're having.
Yeah.
Oh, I like those.
That was a dumb thing.
They were sick, don't lie.
No, I mean the one in the film.
Oh, the one in the film was terrible. The ones we used to make in a
they
wet
were
play
great.
were fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know how many children I'm having and my own wife.
Bloody hell, that must be hell for you.
Oh, I just know what's going on. I can see the future. I'm better than Holly at this point.
Pretty much. We've just detoured and missed so many things.
We do this though. I feel like this is what I mean. The structure of this
something
podcast
early,
is so
yeah.
thrown. I don't want to go through the plot beat by beat because it's boring.
No.
I like detouring.
There was something you were going to say earlier.
I know.
And you just fucking forgot.
I've completely forgotten it. We'll just
Don't
carry on from
remember.
that point. Fight scene 3, troll down.
Mulch is great.
Holly, this is what I was going to say. Holly's powers are deactivated
Mm.
because her dad's a traitor and they don't trust her.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Not really explained.
No, she's been locked up, so I guess why not get rid of her?
And then we get a scene where Piss Boy goes, don't activate them again.
Yeah.
And the captain goes, but I want to. And then Dame Judi Dench says,
Go for it.
yeah, do it. And so he does. And then Piss Boy never appears ever
He just
again.
disappears.
He's just not there.
Wow.
And then Holly could be a superhero again.
And saves Butler's life.
For a fight scene that is the best fight scene in the film, I'd give it a solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
It
But
was.
to be fair, I'd
there.
give the original Troll one a 2 out of 10.
I wouldn't if you give it that. It was
No.
quite bad.
But
Actually, the army one
They
was
only said
about a 1.
because the army's a 1.
If you're going to watch this film before the fight scenes,
Do not.
don't do it.
No.
It's a lot more worth it.
Go watch it for Mulch Diggums.
Yeah, it's so much more worth
That's
it
the
for Josh Gad.
only reason. He's the only good character.
And I mean, the only other point I have other than that is they feed the troll nettles and wasp juice, which it's very allergic
They say
to.
it's allergic to, which makes it twice as strong and 10 times as angry.
And I don't know about you, but if you gave me peanuts, which I'm allergic to, I would just vomit and probably die.
You'd probably be angry. I don't think
I mean,
you'd be a
yeah,
lot
for about
stronger.
a minute until I
Yeah.
start throwing up.
I think they mistook what he's allergic to for just steroids. Can you think of anything that a human could eat which would make him twice as strong and 10 times as angry?
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know about eating cocaine. I don't have experience with eating cocaine, so I couldn't tell you.
I mean, if
honestly.
you're eating cocaine, then you can't get much smarter. Let's be honest. You can only get angrier.
Well, I mean, maybe this is the fairy example of eating cocaine.
Huh.
It's just
Maybe that's
giving
what
it
fairies
nettles.
mean by being allergic to, is a video game power-up.
Maybe it is.
That's
It would
cool.
make a lot more sense than just actually an allergy. Like when the pollen comes out and I start crying and sneezing, it's not like I'm ready to fight a troll. It just means I'm ill.
That would be interesting, though.
It's stupid.
Just the spring turns into Fight Club. That'd be great.
That would be more interesting than most of this film.
Yes.
But also that would be happening in real life, so it's an unfair comparison.
Yeah, everything happened. This is more interesting.
Yeah, you're
Us
not
sitting
wrong.
in this room.
I have enjoyed this conversation more than I have watching
We've
it.
got reliability. There's a ticking clock.
That is true. Yeah, to be fair, this could end a lot quicker. This will end a lot quicker than Artemis Fowl does, so you know it's a positive.
Thank God.
What more can we say? Fight scenes, characters, everything else. Ending of the film.
Ending.
Opal does nothing.
No.
She
She
starts-
gets very angry.
She gets
because-
angry, covers him in tar.
Yeah.
Holly uses the acorn to save Artemis Fowl Senior.
Yeah. They have a little. She disappears and they have a friend scene, a romance scene.
Yeah, they just exchange
I
orange
cannot-
energy. I don't really know.
Cannot tell what it is.
Either way, it doesn't really
It's a
matter,
bit weird.
does it?
No, because that's just it.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
they seem to forget that the inciting incident is Artemis Fowl Senior is a wanted criminal.
Yeah,
He's a criminal mastermind,
but the
and
police
no
just
one
don't
seems
want
to
him.
give a shit.
They also know where he lives.
Yeah,
They could just arrest him,
yeah. Arrest him, take over his house, see if there's anything in there.
but instead they arrest Mulch Diggums.
Yeah.
And
who is just some dude who was there.
And they break Mulch Diggums out of prison because he unhinges his jaw and scares them.
Which, fair enough.
What more can you say than that? The ending's ridiculous.
That's the end.
It is the epitome of bait.
Yeah.
It's literally just there to be like... I mean, there is one scene which is, again, the epitome of sequel bait, where Artemis goes, I'm coming for you, Opal. Yeah. You won't escape me. I'm a criminal mastermind. He's not. Oh, he's a 12-year-old kid that got lucky because a fairy helped you.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And then Artemis's dad, Artemis Senior, gives him the helicopter keys to fly a helicopter.
Because that's what a smart 12-year-old does.
That's about it.
That's what smart people do, Dan. Did you not know that?
Fly helicopters?
Yeah. Stephen Hawking, Albert Einstein, they could fly helicopters.
Oh God, don't get me started on that. Yeah, good one. You can reference smart people. That doesn't make you smart.
Can you tell me anyone you respect? Well, I respect Albert Einstein. Okay. Literally anybody else? Oh, you have all the answers. Not how that question goes.
One of the worst lines of dialogue next to Holly Short being like, but I'll go now. It sounds like a tweet by a furry.
Oh, probably is. They are all furries.
They are literally furries. What am I on about? Of course they are.
There's the centaur. They all wear silly ears.
Nuzzles your shoulder.
Fuck.
Holly Short yiffs.
Oh, she does.
Let's end this. Let's give it a rating because I'm sick of talking about this film. I would like to instate that from this point on, I mean, if you're cool with it, I want to make a little ranking list for our Instagram so every week we post the next one and be like, which in order does it go?
Fair enough. So you're going to ask me if this is better or worse than Scoob?
Is this better or worse than Scoob?
Oh, worse.
I'd agree. It's worse than Scoob.
Scoob, there's more to make fun of.
Yeah.
Scoob is, and it's more absurd.
It's a lot more fun.
I can, if I said, like, you know, I could gather some friends round and watch Scoob, yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot think of a good scenario in which I want to watch Artemis Fowl again.
I can't imagine any of our friends wanting to watch this with us.
No.
And I would argue if one of them was like, yeah, let's watch it again, I would tell them to piss off because we're not watching this film again.
We'd say, do you want to watch Scoob instead? And they go, oh yeah, that's so much better.
On a ranking system from 0 to Scoob to 10, what would you give it?
So Scoob is 5?
Yeah, Scoob is 5. It's very average, isn't it?
3.
3? Really?
3 and a good... Because it isn't bad.
It's not
terrible.
It's not bad.
It's just mediocre.
Yeah, it's
not bad, but there's nothing good about it.
It's also, I feel like we're a bit corrupt in viewing it. Corrupt. That's
we're being paid off by Fox.
I feel like we're a bit biased in watching it because it's like, it's not bad in terms of films like Geostorm or Gemini Man. It's not like boring bad, but it's also not. It's not bad enough to be funny bad,
and it's not interesting enough to be like learning bad.
It's just somewhere in between mediocre, which makes it somehow so much worse.
It's cracking at the seams. It's Breaking Bad.
Shut up. That joke was worse than this film. I'm ending this right now.
Please do. What did you think? What rating would you give it? A 1 to Scoob to 10?
A 1 to Scoob to 10, or a 0 to Scoob to 10. I'd give it maybe a 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 I feel is quite average. It was fine. It wasn't horrible. Again, respect to everyone that was involved in it, because it's not like you did a terrible job.
Yeah.
But you definitely didn't do a great job.
No.
And that's all I can give you credit for.
Yeah.
Artemis Fowl, not a recommendation of mine.
It certainly is Artemis Fowl.
It certainly is.
That's
Artemis Fowl, like a chicken.
A fowl like a chicken?
A chicken is fowl.
I guess, yeah.
It is fowl. It's fowl. Like a turkey.
I think it's poultry, but...
oh shit, what's fowl?
I think you're right. It's a wing... It's like geese or something.
Okay, well I'm right then.
I don't fucking
Thank you so much for listening to us babble for the last hour.
Now go do something more productive.
Go watch Artemis Fowl, because it's better than this podcast.
Go watch this podcast. It's better than Artemis Fowl.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'll give you that one. Go watch Scoob. It's better than this podcast and Artemis Fowl.
Definitely.
Yeah, no, it fully is.
It's got Fred in it.
Dino Mutt's in it.
Fucking yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
He isn't in it.
Go watch the Scooby-Doo original live action, because Freddie Prinze is in it, and I will mention Freddie Prinze Jr. every episode till the day I die.
How long do you think it's going to take for that bit to get old?
It won't get old. In the
Like
same way that
Freddie
Freddie Prinze
Prinze
Jr.
Get ready for next week when we won't mention it because we'll forget.
We definitely will. Thank you again for watching. Right, if you want to give us a little follow on Instagram, give us a little like. We are at DNDND podcast. If you want to follow me, I'm at dan_hearn.png. And Spud?
Don't follow me. Mine's worthless.
Don't follow Spud, apparently.
Oh, fine.
If you want to follow us on Twitter, we're at DNDNDpod1.
Ooh.
Because DNDND podcast was taken. So,
of course it was.
because there is a better D&D podcast, apparently.
Don't watch that one, though.
Don't watch that one.
It's about Dungeons and Dragons.
Which is stupid. No one would title their episode after Dungeons and Dragons.
Nerds.
Jesus Christ. Thanks for listening. Do something better with your time. See you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.